Oh, no, you didn't. You're quite far away from home, aren't you? Okay. Oh, would you stop twitching? Okay, it's your goat instincts. You really want to kick me. I understand, I'm not being quite pleasant. I'm just brushing away here. But this is important, It's not something to really dilly-dally on. Oh, my word. Oh, you look dreadful. But you look, what are you? Oh, stay back. Stay back. This is not my first encounter with one of your kind, with one of those mythical beings that I keep hearing about. No, you stay back. You stay right there, and I'll stay right here. What brings you to my family's farm? You're looking for something to eat. Oh, you're hungry. You're starving. Oh, you poor lad. Oh, look at you. You horns, large goat-like ears, half of a goat. Are you a satyr? And naked as well? Oh, fantastic. Oh my lord. This is not... I must take a look at this. I have been learning to read and write, and so upside down, wasn't it? If I look in here, okay, so here I've got the centaur that I met. So if I go back, I'll go forward rather. Over here is actually where I met a siren in a ship. That's right. Okay, and then over here, I think, is where I'm going to write about you. Oh, who am I? Oh, my name's Oliver. Oh, I'm so sorry. I just get carried away with these things, I've not met many mythical beings, but it seems as if they keep falling in my lap. And so I decided, well, why not just start writing my story, learning about all these different beings, and then perhaps one day they'll see that I've been telling the truth, that, the knight that I worked under when I was a stable boy didn't dismiss me for a legitimate reason, and I could perhaps work somewhere other than my family's farm. But that's neither here nor there for you. You are a satyr. And not only that, you speak English. Oh, that's wonderful. That is purely wonderful. All right. Well, it seems that my skills to take care of you have been called upon again. So, let's start, shall we? Because you're starving, you don't look quite well, and so let's just get right to it, right? So, I am going to get a bit closer to you, and please do not try anything shifty. I know how to defend myself. I am not some wee pansy. Yes, of course. I don't mean to offend, of course. So, you as a satyr, am I allowed to approach you? Alright, perfect. I'm just going to then hover around you and just examine. I will say everything that I intend, okay? So I'm just going to get closer to your face, because you have your ears and you have your horns and you have hair, right? And I'm very curious. I'm not going to touch. I'm just looking right here. Your horns seem very flaky. Did you notice that? I don't know if you did. I don't know if you have mirrors. Yes, it's a very expensive item in our modern age, but I've happened to acquire one or two in the past, and they're quite fascinating. Being able to see yourself, I think that's the devil's work, to be honest, but I think that these horns need to be taken care of. I've taken care of a few goats and a few sheep as well. This is my family's farm, and I am the shepherd right now. Of course, yes, we do many things at my family's farm. You kind of have to follow the trends of nowadays so that we can, I don't know, stay ahead of the curve. Oh, what's the curve? Of something you'll learn about later, I'm sure. Regardless, you have your horns. Your hair seems to be filled with twigs and leaves. That doesn't seem quite healthy for your hair. But I must ask, is that something that's culturally, like, sensitive? Is that something that's required? Oh, okay, alright. So that it's sort of a signifier of class in your culture. That's totally fine. We'll leave that there then. Do you have to signify your class? No, okay. It's the okay, you do have to signify your class. And that's done with your hair. So is everybody normally naked? Okay, that's just a Satyr thing, I guess. Alright. No, we are normally clothed, and I'd like to keep it that way. So, I do see that the fur, you do have sort of goat fur, and it's, how about the twigs and leaves on your legs? Is that something that's, oh no, that's just from you running. Okay, well, I can take care of that for you. And, you know, I can take care of a lot of things, really, but the main thing being your ears, your horns, and then your legs, all right? And maybe your hooves. Are your hooves all right? That's something I'm very accustomed to. Okay, your hooves feel fine? Okay, well, we'll just leave them be then, okay? All right, then. Let's just get started. I'm going to start by just doing a quick brushing of your goat legs. So you're going to have to give me one of your legs, if you don't mind. You can sit on the grass. It'll be fine. You're still starving, though. What do you like to eat? Wine. Is this the famous... I've heard of satyrs before, and I've heard you're quite famous for your ribaldry. Is that accurate? Oh, very accurate. Well, all right. I suppose, you know, when one's in Cambridge, you do as the Cambridge people do. So, I do have a cup here that I can perhaps give you some wine. I don't know if I should really be giving this to you, though. It's Mima's last bottle. They were saving it for a special occasion, but, you know, perhaps this is the special occasion, all right? Okay. You know, it's... They should be willing. You are dying, you know, of starvation, and you need wine, right? No, so yeah, I'm just gonna pour some for you. There we go. Okay. Perfect. So here you go. Drink up. There we go. Okay, I'm just gonna leave that here for you. Okay. Perfect. So, to go back to my lord, almost dropped all of the wine all over the floor. That's all right. So, I'm just going to go back to actually brushing. All right. So, let's get ready. Give me one leg. Perfect. So just okay. Perfect. There we go. See, normally, as a new shepherd, I've noticed a lot of goats and a lot of sheep. Well, sheep and goats are very different, but I would say that with goats in particular, you have a lot of wavy hair, a lot of wavy fur, but it can really stand for some brushing. And I don't mean to lecture you, but it doesn't seem like you really take care of it. Yes, I would imagine if your main source of nutrients within your diet seems to be from, wine and drink, then perhaps you're sort of struggling to wash yourself. Oh yes, I love this thing. It's called hygiene. It's very important, I think at least. But aside from a few nobles and the occasional lad, hygiene has not been very, very popular No, I think I was really brought into the knowledge of hygiene. I had an Arabian friend. You know, they were a merchant. They came by. Yes, they passed by London, and really, it was quite fascinating to see all of the different frankincense and aromas that they had. I sort of, you know, I was a bit entranced, to be honest, and they smelled wonderful. And so I think I've just been really obsessed with that ever since. I think that's when I wanted to become a horse, a stable boy, really, because I didn't have much other work. Other leg, please. Okay. Yeah, so I didn't have much other work, and really being a stable boy is trying to keep the horses with good hygiene. And I was thinking that perhaps if the horses had good hygiene, that I could perhaps, I don't know, it just felt good, I suppose. Oh, look at me, just babbling on about my life, and here I am talking to a satyr. What? Have you always lived near here? Oh, no, you didn't. You're quite far away from home, aren't you? Okay. Oh, would you stop twitching? Okay, it's your goat instincts. You really want to kick me. I understand, you know. I'm not being quite pleasant. I'm just brushing away here. But this is important, you know. It's not something to really dilly-dally on. So, I suppose I can forgive you. Okay. So just a bit more here. I think. Do you want to turn around? I can get your tail. Okay, just turn around for me, and then I'm just going. Okay, perfect. How wonderful. Okay, so I've brushed your legs. In terms of your ears, they're quite dirty. There's a lot of earwax, and that's normally not a problem, but you are having a hard time hearing me. Is that probably why I'm just babbling and you're not really saying anything, and you're just sort of staring at me and giving me a nice quiet nod? A nice quiet nod, okay. Perhaps if I help clean out some of that. So I've got some cotton pads here. You know, I took some of these onto a sailor's, you know, onto a ship where I was a sailor, and it was really not appropriate. I learned, you know, they start to ask questions like, why are you taking up so much space, and do you consider the other sailors when you bring all of your different things? And I was like, I don't know, it's a pretty big ship. So anyway, just lend me your ear, and I'm just going to clean it out with this, all right? Don't worry too much about it. It's just a nice, here, you can feel it if you'd like. Yeah, see, it feels nice. And, you know, it's totally fine. Yes, okay. All right. So just going to put it right in there while I do that. So let's talk about your ribaldry. Is that innate? Is that learned? It's an interesting question, don't you think? Still a lot of earwax here. What do I mean? Well, you see, I started thinking, and as I've become more literate, I've started reading. You know, it's not really, I miss the days that I was illiterate. That was truly bliss. You know, to be ignorant and to not really think about things, it's just, there's nothing quite like it. There's no worries. But now I've been reading, and now I'm thinking, well, is certain behaviours learned from birth, or is it innate to our beings in our souls? You know, it's really a question that really keeps me up at night, and that's not really good because I don't sleep well during my first sleep or my second sleep. Okay, other ear, please. Yes, just getting it in there, you know. There. Yeah. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, now that we've got that out of the way, I'm going to then brush your ears. It's a little bit matted. I really want to demattify it. I've had this thing with horses. When they get mats, when their hair gets a bit long and there's mats, it actually tugs on their hair. So I'm kind of wondering, are you in pain? Every satyr's in pain. Oh, that's not right. You shouldn't be in pain. No. Here, I wonder if some of the mats that are on your ears and perhaps on your fur and on your chest, because you have a furry chest, I do wonder if that is causing you pain. Do you mind if I try? Okay. So I'm just going to go in here and I'm just going to brush it out. Yeah, this is a dematting brush. So I made it myself. Okay. And so what made you want to show yourself to me? You know, I've been here for a little bit. You know, and I grew up here and I haven't seen a satyr before. I know you're far away from home, but you know, I imagine from what I've learned from the centaur and the siren that I've talked to, they generally don't want to expose themselves to humans unless they're planning to kill them. So, I wonder, what is it about me? Okay, you could say, oh my lord, you've heard of me. Now, what kind of reputation do I have? I'm just the human that's talked to some people, to some of the mythological creatures. Well, that's interesting now, isn't it? That's not how I see myself. I don't know, I feel like as I'm writing this book and just attempting to make sense of my life, each one of you just sort of shows up. And I just feel compelled to help you. Okay, that's each ear. Now I'm just going to do your chest, alright? Which is right here. So stay still for me. Here, puff out your chest. Give it a nice little puff, right? Oh my, alright. Okay. Okay. There we go. Perfect. Yeah, see, it's really coming out. How's it feeling? Oh, much better. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Okay. So, I do wonder, how did you hear about me then? Because I would imagine that satyrs and centaurs and sirens don't really have much overlapping cultures, I would say. Oh, there's like a conference of mythological beings. Well, that's interesting. I wonder, where's it held? Oh, you can't say. It's okay. You don't trust me, and that's all right. I'm not here to do anything crazy. I am just trying to dematify your chest, which seems to be in quite a tizzy. It does not want to demat. How long has it been since you've washed it? Since you've like put water on it? Or you've dribbled wine onto it? Well, that's not going to help. Is that why you've got a lot of stains on your skin? Just dried wine, like right here, right there. Oh my lord. Okay. One more time. There we go. Oh my lord, okay. Does that feel better? Yeah, it does. Alright, wonderful. Well, next we're going to deal with your horns. Now, this is something that I have only learned recently. So, and you can correct me if I'm incorrect, but from what I understand, goats need to sort of rub their horns against different barks and trees. And why haven't you done so? Well, you do it so that you can get some of that, like, gunk off, you know? You see how you've got sort of flakiness. It's sort of like dandruff, but way, way worse. Oh, so it's sort of like you haven't found the right tree yet. Oh, is it also sort of a marking thing, like you're leaving your set? Oh, that's personal. Okay, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Do you mind then? I have the perfect thing. I have been obsessed with collecting different sort of tree branches and really whittling them down. I'm sort of learning how to create. Well, I'm learning woodworking really. So I've got quite a few sort of tree branches and bark. And if I take one of these and I rub it against it, I think I can almost file away some of your flakiness. And then after that's done, I have perhaps some ointment that I haven't really had much use of since I've stopped being a stable boy. I can put that on you as well. Does that sound wonderful? Okay, alright, well, let me take one of these then. You're lucky you found me. If you found me, Ma, she would take her bow and arrow and she would shoot you dead. And then she would call on my father. And what he would do, I don't know. He'd probably... Oh, I don't know. It's not like he's dealt with any bodies before. Not that I've known of, at least. But sometimes we do get raiders in the house. Not in the house, but on the farm. And let me just... Oh, there we go. So, let me just... Here, the first horn. There we go. Yeah, so I kind of imagine he would do with you what he did to a lot of the raiders that would come to our farm. It's the only reason we still have this land, really. Yeah, let me take a more methodical approach. It seems as if if I try and just go through it, you seem to be in a bit of pain, right? So if I just do a bit of a... How's that? Is that better? Wonderful, wonderful. Alright. Okay. Now up here. Here, like over here. Is that here? Oh, perfect. There we go. Yeah, isn't that lovely? Oh, and you have a nice shine to your horns under there. You've been hiding some really beautiful limbs, I suppose, under all this gunk and all this flaky skin. You really need to start getting to work on. You know, you perhaps you should. Perhaps ribaldry isn't a part of Satanists, and perhaps it's more. Oh, I'm so sorry. Look at me trying to prescribe something to your culture as if I know what I'm talking about. Oh, I should know my place, Oliver. Know your place. That's what Father always says. Anyway. Okay. Now the other horn. Okay. So now we're at the other horn. We're just... There we go. There. This one's not as bad. Doesn't seem as bad to me. Okay, perfect. I think that's good. Now that we've done that, we can deal with the last thing that we need to do, which is the ointment, right? This is the ointment that I have. It's very small. I did bring it with me on the sailor ship, but it didn't really take up much space. I didn't have much use for it. I may have used it with the siren, but I'm not really sure. You know, I use it very frequently and I have to remake it every time. So this is just a few drops, right? So it's just going to be a few drops over here and over here. And this is going to be wonderful, all right? And if you want, I could part with this for you if you feel like you'll need it for your horns, all right? But let's just do it and then we'll see, all right? So just stay still for me. All right, this may hurt a little. I don't. Your horns are quite raw right now, so I would think that putting this ointment might sting a little. So I'm going to count to 3 each time, and when I do that, I'm going to put at least 1 drop down, and you'll be prepared. All right, so it's going to be okay. So just okay. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Okay. Okay. One more time on that horn. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Now we'll do the other horn. There we go. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Wonderful. Wonderful. 1, 2, 3. Wonderful. What a fabulous job you've done. Sort of staying still and letting me do this. Do you feel any better? You do? Okay. And do you still need more wine? Here you go. I've got more wine for you. Okay, wonderful. Yeah, I can give you the whole bottle if you'd like. If that feels like it's you'll need it to go back to where you came from. So, of course, you don't have to go back if you don't want to. It might be a bit difficult. You might have to do some farm work if you stay here, but perhaps we could convince my parents. No, you want to go back. Okay, that's fine. Well, I am so glad to have run into you. I suppose if people are talking about me, then maybe you can tell them that you had a wonderful time with me. Yes, you could say it's sort of like a review. But let's not talk about it like that, that makes me anxious, really. No, let's just say you had a wonderful time, and if anyone asks you about me, then you can tell them whatever you want, and I don't have to know, okay? Alright then. Bye-bye then.